So when I choose these things, I have a little bit more margin, which normally means a little bit more joy. Hello and welcome to the Encourager Podcast, where we have encouraging conversations to help you joyfully harmonize your home and work life. I'm your host, Rebecca Scott. I'm a wife, mother, designer, coach, and author. I'm here to help encourage and empower you to confidently make decisions that work for you and your stage of life, whatever that might be. Hello, encouragers. On this week's podcast, I'm talking about things I don't do. So there are tons of times when people say, I don't know how you do it all. And I think we frequently say that to each other when we understand all the roles that they're playing, the work that they have, the passions that they are accruing, all the things. And you go, wait a minute, how are you doing this? So I get asked that question so frequently. I started a podcast based on that question so that I could explain I've worked into these 5 systems, but there are things I don't do. And I equally like talking about those because it gives some sort of permission to the woman standing across from me I guess I never really thought about it. So at the end of this episode, I hope that you take the first 10 minutes to ask yourself, what don't I do? And why is that okay for me? And if you do it all, let's take a moment and go, you know what? I'm going to stop doing this. And this doesn't have to be in a really weighty, big decision. It could be, or it could just be the tiny things that you're like, you know what? In this season, I am not doing this. And you'll hear some of those from me today. And here's the caveat. Every system of all the 5 systems feels lighter when you've pre-decided what you're not going to do. Plus, I get a little bit of the obnoxious giggles and I'm like, I don't do that because it's a decision that I have pre-made for that certain system. So I did divide them up into the 5 systems. They're not all so nice and neat with 1 or 2 points per one of them, but it will give you a little bit of idea of what I don't do in the 5 systems. So for the me system, which is the how you're taking care of yourself and how you're getting a full charge, here are 2 things I don't do. I don't do red dye. This is kind of part of the family system as well, but we've been practicing not doing red dye for, I think, 18 years now. The age of my son, he was about 1 year old when I started doing some research on it. At the time, there was only a lot of mom research on it, but there wasn't a lot of scientific research on it. Now it has flip-flopped, and I'm fairly certain our country is going to get rid of it in about a year or so. So I'm super excited about that. It just messes with my kiddos. I realized early on that they were fighting more, scratching and biting, so it affected them physically. But then if you read a lot about it, and I am no expert by any means, you guys, but food dye, it causes serious problems in our kids. For us, the decision was always behaviorally, but now there is some physical effects that it can have also. So I'll leave you to if you want to research, but it's just something we decided. No red dye. Easy decision. The kids believe me, my kids make other bad choices with foods, but it was just such a good, we don't do red dye, so you're not going to eat the cupcake with the red frosting on it, but you can scrape the frosting off and eat the cupcake. So that's one thing that we don't do. I myself cheat every once in a while because I do love licorice, but I do recognize I don't feel great afterwards. So sometimes it's just not worth it. So I don't do red dye. And my second thing is I don't watch movies twice. Unless it is Elf, because that movie makes me laugh, or Melissa McCarthy. I might watch one of hers twice because I think she's so funny. But I have a hard time sitting down for 2 hours. Big shocking surprise there. And so to watch a movie twice, I'm like, what a massive waste of time. So I do not watch movies twice. Permission, if you want to not have to do that. For the food system, this is answering the question, what's for supper? 2 things I don't do in the food system. I don't do takeout pizza. Within reason. Every once in a while, if we go to my mom and dad's place, we get Papa Murphy's because we're serving 20 people and we all arrive at the supper hour, then we might do it. I do not do takeout pizza in our place because I'm too much of a 4-H'er and I always break down how much it costs to buy it versus make it. And I found a recipe that I super like for homemade pizza dough. I'll put it on social media this week so you guys can see it. And I just mix it up usually it's Fridays. So I just mix it up that morning. It rises all day. Then I roll it out and then I can do whatever flavorings we want. The kids can be involved. I don't know. Making pizza, I guess, has become therapeutic. And I feel so smug when I'm making it because I'm like, I'm saving so much money. I usually only spend about $6, about $6.50 per pizza versus what it would cost to buy it. And I'm in control of all the ingredients. I know that's strange, but in 4-H, you learn how to, you can learn how to do this anytime, but the ingredients and narrowing it down and all the things. So I don't do takeout pizza. I also do not buy small electric mixers because My KitchenAid is my holy grail of everything. I use it every single day, not exaggeration. I use it for mashed potatoes. I use it for meatloaf. I use it for baking. I use it for bread. I use it for whatever. I use it all the time. And so to get out another appliance with 2 small whips, I guess that was my breaking point. And I haven't bought one in our entire marriage, and I'm not going to. I don't know. And now if I bought one, I'd probably feel like I'm cheating. I know these are all a little bit silly, but I do not buy a small electric mixer. I just use the mother. In my home system, 2 things I don't do here. Now, this one, I hope you guys really reflect on and go, you know what? I'm not going to do that either. It doesn't mean for forever. It's just for a season. So for right now, I do not clean my windows. I can't do it, you guys. There's just so much that I am managing that I don't see that they're dirty windows. Now, some people, and I've said this to other people, and they're like, I couldn't do it. It drives me bananas. I, for whatever reason, have been gifted by God not to see my dirty windows. So if you ever come over and be like, oh yeah, she's not doing the... Now, Nick will do it every once in a while because he gets annoyed. I've even caught my dad doing it because it annoyed him, but I don't see it. I don't. There's too many other things. But remember how I always say pick 2 things for your home system that will give you more peace when you walk into your house? Mine is the kitchen sink and the entryway. Those 2 things need to be picked up. That's it. So the windows are not a part of that group. And so now I've just taken it one step further and I just don't clean them right now. Maybe someday I will buy all the equipment. I've surely been pitched it. My dad shows me how easy it is. And I'm like, yep, that's great. Now my kids might also, for poops and giggles, they might want to wash the windows if they get in trouble. But I do not do my windows. This episode of The Encourager is brought to you by Rebecca Scott Designs, where we make custom purses and accessories designed by you for the life you actually live. From fabrics and linings to leathers and 20 plus styles, every detail is your choice. Each piece is handmade right here in South Dakota, where we believe beauty and function should go hand in hand. Visit designyourownbag.com to create your own custom bag and use code ENCOURAGER for $10 off your purchase. For my home system, I think this one applies in this area, is I do not have a planner. I have some podcasts over this, but I do not do a planner. I do a weekly agenda because I love the feeling to be able to throw it away. I could go on, but if you've ever heard any of my podcasts, I do talk about why I don't have a planner. And I love this because I don't walk around with this big notebook and it feels overwhelming and it stresses me out thinking about it. But if I have one sheet of paper that organizes me for that week, that is great. And I also like that's not digital. I think we are on our phones enough. And it's hard for me to justify to the kids when they're like, Mom, what are you doing? If I'm like, well, I'm checking my phone for what we have going on, that's legit, but I'm still on the phone. So I'm trying to I'm a paper and pencil gal. I love my weekly agenda. I do not have a planner. We have a family calendar that's also by paper. I don't buy the big fancy digital ones. Again, I'm trying to keep us off of all the screens. And so that's my little rebellion there. I don't have a planner. In my family system, 2 things I don't do is have sleepovers until the 5th grade. We did allow this. One of our kiddos has a very best friend since she was 5 years old. We did allow them to have a sleepover in the 3rd grade, which you better believe the older 2 sisters are like, what? You let her? But I think extenuating circumstances, they would say, no, it's because she's the baby. But that was just something that I read from James Dobson years and years and years ago. And then even at the 5th grade sleepovers, our kids just know that we're going to ask a ton of questions before they're allowed. We need to know the family very well before those things happen. And then it's always like, if there's a birthday party where they're like, it's sleepover, the kids know automatically because we pre-decided you can't have one. They're like, I'll just go to the party, but I won't be there for the sleepover. And it has worked. And both Nick and I feel like it's a safe decision for our family. Okay, here's the controversial one, you guys. The other one I don't do for the family system is Mother's Day. Okay. Now, if you're asking, like, what do you mean? How do you not do Mother's Day? I don't do Mother's Day. I don't want cards. I don't want flowers, maybe a hug. I don't want breakfast in bed. It has become such an expectation holiday that I ruined myself over it. Like, I had expectations and they didn't meet them, which is not necessarily their fault. Maybe mine were too high. Maybe mine were too low. They can never meet the mark. It's terrible. So I get cards for my mother. Nick and I get cards for his mother. We arrange gifts. There is no Mother's Day for Becca. I have explained this to the kids. They know why. And later on in the year, I might get like a Becca Day or a special whatever. But as far as Mother's Day, I know this is controversial, so talk with me on social media this week. I just don't do it. I plead with them. Nothing. I don't want to be let down. I don't want to get excited. So right now, in this stage of life, we are not doing Mother's Day. And the 2 things for my work system that I don't do is coffee dates. I will do walking dates right now because I think better when I am in movement and I love that. But to sit down for an hour and a half for a coffee date does not happen. Now, that doesn't have to be something you don't do, but for me, that's something that I just don't do. I will go for a walk and I will brainstorm and I will visit, even if it's not work related, but I would rather walk. And so far, my friends are like, sure, I'll go for a walk. The coffee dates they make me antsy and I move around a lot and I'm not very pleasant during a coffee date. So I need movement. So I don't do coffee dates in this stage of life. And I also don't start work until 9 a.m. I have just realized by the time I get everybody to the places they need to be, school, and some have to go early and some have to go later, and then I get home and I get dinner prepped for the day, and then I read my Bible and I journal, it's already 9 o'clock. No matter how many times I've tried to squeeze up my wake up time so that I could actually be in the studio by 8:30, I cannot do it and I feel rushed. So once I made a decision, I don't work until 9 a.m., everything was better. It was like, okay. Then I enjoyed the cooking part and getting the food ready for supper that night. I enjoyed my Bible reading better. I enjoyed a quiet cup of tea while I did things, and it just smoothed out. And yep, I probably get less work done because I don't start until 9 a.m., but I feel better when I start the 9 a.m. Here's why I think this matters. I just want you to ask yourself, what am I going to stop doing? Or you can reframe it. What don't I do? Maybe there are already some decisions that you're like, I'm kind of proud of that one. I don't do that. I'm going to tell my friends so that I can give them permission as well. Of course, a lot of mine are silly. They're just particular to my personality, my unique family setup. But what would that be for you? And you could think about it in the 5-system way, or you can think about it just like, okay, I'm not going to do Mother's Day either. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about that on Instagram this week. Or maybe it's the cleaning windows. And for you, it's like, I am never going to vacuum again. That has to be assigned to everybody else in my house. Or I'm never going to dust again. Maybe that one I should pick too. But I'm the only one who does it really good. But what would those be, you guys, that you're like, you know what? I don't do this. I want you to spend some time asking yourself that question. Ask your spouse, ask your family, ask them, what are some things that they've decided for themselves that they just don't do? Margin does create joy. So when I choose these things, I have a little bit more margin, which normally means a little bit more joy. So here's the thing. Make a short things I don't do list for this season. Now, this season might be while the kids are at home, or it might be a really, really short season. But what does this list look like that says things I don't do? And ask yourself these questions. What drains me every single time? What do I keep doing out of guilt? Or what could I release for this year only? Ask yourself those 3 questions and make this list and then share it on social media. Let's give each other a little bit of permission. Until next time, encouragers, we've got this because he's got us. Thanks so much for tuning in. If the Encourager podcast has helped or encouraged you in any way, please subscribe to the show and leave a 5-star review. And then help us spread the message of encouragement and hope by sharing the podcast with others. Ready to build systems that actually fit your life and budget? The Encourager Academy is now available 1 module at a time, each just $39 and only 25 to 35 minutes per video. Choose the area you most need help in, your me, food, home, work, or family system, or dive into the mindset, priorities, and super skills that make all the difference. Each lesson is simple, actionable, and designed to help you create sustainable rhythms that bring peace, not pressure. Visit EncouragerAcademy.com to start your next small step towards harmony and joy. If you've ever wished someone could just sit with you, look at your real life, and help you make progress where it matters most, that's what my one-on-one coaching is all about. For over 10 years, I've coached women to harmonize both home and work life, not by forcing them into a program, but by designing systems that actually fit their personality, their season, and their strengths. No cookie cutters, no overwhelm, just sustainable rhythms that help you finally see traction in the areas that matter most to you. Learn more or book your free discovery call at EncouragerAcademy.com. Let's make progress together.